Heat, Miami 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 Heat. It feels like Miami.
Welcome to the Heat Beat Podcast. I'm your host, Carlo Navas, and with me today, we have our Heat Twitter president and host of Hangover Time, Alphonse Sidney, a.k.a. Alf954.
What a guan.
On the bottom, we have our 2K coach and StreamBeat co-founder, Frankie.
What up? What up?
All right, everybody. So here's the deal. We're on YouTube today. We're in solidarity with hashtag a day off Twitch. A lot of small-time Twitch creators, started this to kind of bring some awareness to some hate raids and some other things that are going on Twitch. So we wanted to support people and the solidarity behind them. So we're on YouTube just for the day. Don't worry, we're back on Twitch next show, which should be next week. But we got to hold it down for the community. We got to do our part.
What's a hate raid? Is that like when they just come and saying racist shit?
You know what, Alf? I don't fully know.
That's what it sounds like. That's what a hate raid sounds like.
It's like so people are like programming bots and stuff to like take over like a ton of bots that it's almost impossible for mods to like control and stuff. And they're saying like hateful stuff. They're saying spam stuff, and it's just pretty much targeting small creators basically.
It's funny
like January 6th on Twitch.
I was gonna make the joke it's Texas or some shit. Or just like Florida, just like anywhere out there, even Miami, just anywhere in Florida. It's just a hate rate every day.
Oh yeah.
You go to Publix, you're just assaulted by racism. I had some friends in town, and we went to the pool in my building, and there was some white Hispanic dude saying the N-word, and my friends who are black are like, it was like people like these people do that shit, and I was like, yeah, it's
when you're in Kendall. That's like it's the it's like the Kendall greeting. Oh, I'm here.
Yeah, no, that's true. Listen, you go any pick up basketball court at Kendall, you hear that you got people out of town got a double take.
Hey, Hialeah too. Hialeah can't escape that.
305 till we die. Alpha's 954, way out of the way. Shout out to the people. Go Canes. Is today the first day? I know that they play Alabama soon, right, Alf?
Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday. I'm sorry for my echo. I know that my audio's not quite. Yeah, chat saying why is G streaming from an abandoned warehouse? I just moved. This is my new studio. We're gonna fill this out as we go. I have a slightly better camera angle. Alf, do you approve?
No, it's not straight on. Why is it not straight on? Your whole excuse was the way your room was set up, and it was above your fish tank or some bullshit. Now you're in an empty room. Mm-hmm. There is no reason for you not to be looking at the camera.
I mean, I can look right here. I'm looking.
Actually, it's better when you don't.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, everybody.
That was Frankie. Was that not unnerving? Like
it was. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to be an asshole right now.
Like when he looked at me, it was super fucking creepy. I was like, oh god,
it felt way too personal.
Do you want? Is this really?
No.
Go back. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. Please don't look at me.
But today
this is how you need to talk to women too. Just avoid eye contact.
From the side angle. Just like hold on.
So I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, don't worry, you'll come to appreciate this.
Why are you not looking me in the eye? It's for your own benefit.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yes, chat. We're back on YouTube. For those of you just joining, we're just for the day. We'll be back on Twitch. We're just in solidarity with our Twitch brethren. So we got a lot to get to today. Couple things. I don't know. Let's start with the Sixers because we're gonna get into the Heat's big men. So we're going through all the positions. We did guards last time. Tiff and Siobhan and I broke that down, and now we're gonna do bigs. But I want to kind of start with the Sixers because it's been so funny. Alf, have you seen what's going on?
Yeah,
it's like Joel Embiid has to be the corniest fucking dude in the league.
What was that? That was weird. That was an odd post. Like it was like you guys treated me like shit, but it made me work harder, but you got to do better. It was a shit post is what it was. Like it had no real direction to it. It made no sense. Like it was just fucking nonsense. But
it was like he was trying to hit a word count. A word.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, exactly.
Just fill in and let it flow, and you're like, a long-winded way to get to this point.
Hitherto for, therefore.
So let me bring the tweet
up for those. He double spaced it.
he's playing around with the font to make sure it looks a little bigger.
Like trying to get that margin a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Squeeze the margin a bit. So here's a tweet for those who don't know. Joel Embiid says, "I haven't forgotten, but 2 years ago I got booed. People in Philly wanted me to be traded. I even shushed them. Only real ones didn't, but I put the work in the offseason to be better because I knew I wasn't playing up to my potential. Philly fans, y'all also got to be better."
Like, what does that mean?
Well, no, they won't. They're Philly fans. They're like the lowest. The only thing that's a lower subspecies of humans are Knicks and Jets fans.
No, I think Philly fans are actually worse.
You did Knicks fans?
They throw snowballs at Santa.
They throw batteries at people. They boo.
No, those are Cleveland fans.
Who booed Michael Irvin when he got hurt? That was Philly fans, right?
I think so.
Yeah, like Philly fans, they're the dregs of humanity. Like they're just the worst people.
Tiff bringing up a good point. I'd rather be the Sixers. Our buddy George Sedano.
But was he like trying to stick up for Ben Simmons, or was he trying to say, Ben, nut up and put in the work and they'll love you? Like I didn't understand. Like who was he just chastising both sides of it? Like I just did not get what the point of that tweet was.
It was like they did it to me too, and look what I became. But also be better, fans.
Yeah, was it like Ben stop being a bitch, or was it Philly fans stop being bitches? Like
I think it was both. So like earlier,
you guys are assholes.
What is it? That was a could go either way tweet. I said it was a shit post.
So earlier there was a report that NBA Central aggregated, which is really funny that Joel Embiid is like just fucking entertaining NBA Central. And it was just about that there's a rift that the Sixers reportedly had to pick between Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. The Simmons-Embiid rift has been escalating. A person with knowledge of the situation told USA Today. And Joel goes, "Trust me, bro. Like, stop trying to push an agenda. Blah blah blah. I love playing with Ben. Stats don't lie. He's an amazing player. We just didn't get the job done. Whatever." Responding. I mean, it's kind of weird to respond to that, but whatever. He did. And then that just really and it's funny because before that he was just like live tweeting a Real Madrid game. You know what I mean? Like pretending that none of this shit was happening.
That's like the Lebitard thing. When there's like a big game going on, he tweets some random score.
Yeah, like Mariners, Rockies, top of the sixth or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah. So Embiid is then he just spirals. He starts like tweeting that, and then he starts retweeting like Philly radio host rants against him. And then he just like kind of pivots and he's like, "I love the criticism. I love when I'm told I can't do something." And he just like kind of spiraled on Twitter. It was really funny to watch.
What is happening in Philly? Like, how can that whole situation have been more poorly managed? Like, they have torpedoed one of the most athletic, talented players in the NBA. Like, they've torpedoed his value. He's torpedoed his own value. Like, who's giving up anything for Ben Simmons at this point? And Ben Simmons is still really, really good. Like, you should be able to get a couple first-round picks for Ben Simmons.
No, they'll get something good for him. I think that's kind of overstated. I think,
but they're not going to get what they should get for Ben Simmons.
I think at this point. I think I think Morey mishandled that a little bit. I think Doc kind of hasn't helped. He didn't help at the end of the season.
What a surprise!
I mean, Doc just threw that dude under the bus. Listen, Doc Rivers is a professional survivor. Yeah, I can't hate the man.
Doc is a grifter, man. Let's be honest.
King.
Doc is a grifter. He's been living on.
Nobody's still eating off that 08 ring like Doc.
Yeah, like he's the only one that like still. I mean, Rondo at least has earned another championship ring, and fucking Doc is still living off that, getting contracts after contracts, and he hasn't had to spend one day as a studio analyst, getting fired like everyone else usually has to. He's a funny joke with the coach.
Like Doc is the guy who's coached two of the most talented, mismanaged teams at like the Clippers of Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. Now he's with the Sixers. I mean, the Sixers are super talented. They have Toby. I don't call him Tobias. They got Toby over there. They got some good young guys. They have Embiid. They have Simmons. They have a talented roster. They were number one in the East last year, and they're just such a shit show. Like, and I guess this all goes back to the whole rather be the Sixers thing when Leif was going off. He was basically he was telling Sedano, like, those motherfuckers will never get their act together. And like so far, he's been proven absolutely correct. Like, can you envision the Sixers going through an entire playoff run and winning a championship as currently constructed?
No.
Like, there's no way. Like, they would implode. Like, they would get into a fist fight on the court first. Like, there's absolutely no way. It's just such a poorly run franchise. And it goes back to just having a culture of losing on purpose for years and then mismanaging draft picks.
Mm-hmm. Mismanaging picks and then giving like good dudes away for like nothing, and then like signing bad deals and like not being able to pull the trigger on trades, right? Getting too cute, you know, when Lowry was available for them. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Gino Nunez in chat says they had the easiest route to the finals and they couldn't make it past the Hawks. It's true. It's fucking true. The Hawks were like half a game away from being like a fucking 7 seed.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, it's crazy. Like, and you know, it's funny, like the Hawks are gonna like live off that playoff series for a long time, right? Like they, you know, people think, I mean, they're good and Trae Young's amazing.
I think they're just getting better.
Danny Green said he about to become the primary defensive player with Ben gone. I just saw that. So Tiff put in chat, what about what Danny Green said was worse than that tweet? And I was like kind of like looking for it, and I was kind of scrubbing through the video, and I saw that he said that. I was like, God damn.
Like, they've already kicked him out of Philly.
They've checked.
That was so weird.
It's the NBA. We know how this works. When dudes want to leave and when shit gets bad, they're gone. I mean, listen, you could do all the song and dance, even if it's fucking a guy like James Harden. Yeah. Even if it's a guy like James Harden, those guys, you know, once it's done, it's done. Which is really funny. And as Heat fans, we love to fucking enjoy in the misery that is the bottomless pit that is the 76ers. I hope the Heat get to play them in the playoffs. And I really hope that they could potentially break up that team. The Heat have that chance.
Isn't the team broken up already?
It's I mean, like
the Trae Young really break them up. Like the Heat have broken up quite a few teams with Big Three Celtics. You know,
Pacers.
The Pacers. I think the Pacers is the most like famous example of they just fucking beat the fuck out of them until they just kind of disbanded.
The boy band Pacers.
The boy band Pacers. Yo, if anybody who has like a Sports Illustrated cover, it just never goes well for you. The Lakers, now this is gonna be fun. The Nets, who's gonna stop them?
Dwayne and Justice.
Too soon.
Oh my God, too soon.
What's that voice?
That was pain.
Your voice cracked too much.
That hurt, man. I love that.
Remember it was
Clipper season now.
For Spurs, it was Tim Duncan and Aldridge was like 32 years old.
The young buck on the team.
Aldridge could get the vet minimum. He was eligible for the vet minimum, and he was on a young gun cover.
10 years experience contract and shit.
He was an XXL Rookie of the Year cover. Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. Listen. All right, so let's kind of move into Adam Borai says I'm the evil YouTube. Listen, we're on YouTube now. We've opened ourselves to true evil, which are the YouTube comments. Let's get into the kind of what we're here for today, which is going through the Heat's big man rotation, which, to be honest with you, like, I don't look at guys like PJ Tucker as a big, even though he'll probably play a little small ball 5.
I mean, you have to look at him as a big.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Maybe we could start with that. I mean, I wasn't going to include him. I look at him more as a wing.
He's a second big.
To me, the team
probably
has,
your starting 4.
The team has, but like he's more of a wingy 4. Like, I was like, maybe that could be an interesting place to start. Like, I looked at them as, okay, they have Bam, they have Dedmon, and they have Yurtseven, and those are kind of their big men. Right. And I see PJ as a guy who could play the 3 through 5. Probably won't play a lot of 3, but can. Brendan Patterson says it's been a long time since we have it MHB. We've been taking it easy. Listen, it's the off season, it's the dog days. We all deserve a little break. We have a couple surprises in the pipeline for you guys. We'll announce them when we're ready, but we're working on some stuff. Brass is cooking up some fun stuff. But yeah, guys, like, you know, so Alf, you're saying you see PJ as a big.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the guy has started at center for the better part of a season with the Rockets, and they played well with him at center. We all made fun of the experiment, but the guy, I think he has like a 7-foot wingspan. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. He plays so much bigger than his size, where we've had a lot of guys who played under their size recently, or we just had guys who grande por gusto.
There you go.
You like that? That's my Kendall accent.
Let's go.
Blancote.
Yeah. So we've had guys who are big for nothing. This guy, he's 6'5", 6'6" on a good day.
7 wingspan.
But he's 7 foot wingspan. He's strong as an ox. Like he can guard centers. He can guard power forwards. He can switch out onto a 3. He's the kind of guy, like I said, he's the kind of guy that's going to work. Who I think is the kind of willing shooter and defender and physical presence that you need next to Bam. He's not going to be afraid to go in for a rebound, box out. He's not going to be afraid to pull the trigger on that corner 3. He's the right kind of fit next to Bam. And yes, he's a big. He plays like a big. We have to consider him a big. If we considered fucking Precious a big, this motherfucker's a big. All right. So
I mean,
he plays a lot bigger than Precious does. I mean, we wanted KZ at the 4. Shit.
But like for me, like I look at like, okay, what's your role in the offense? Like, are you a screener and a diver? Like, are you playing, like more of that center role? Are you defending players that are more wing types, like quicker, kind of more dribble drive guys? That's kind of what I look at. But I mean, you make good points. Like I wouldn't have said that, but like, I'm interested in his function in the offense, Frankie, because I don't see a SPO team just anymore parking a dude in the corner and be like, well, you wait here. Because even Ariza wasn't doing that, and that's what Ariza did in Houston.
His whole career, basically.
I mean, yeah.
Well, what are they gonna do if he's the one guy that's parked in the corner and they try to hide a bad defender on him because he's hiding in the corner? Kyle's gonna tell him to come set a screen, so he forced a switch. Jamie's gonna do the same thing. That's gonna be his role. He's gonna hit those timely shots, be on the weak side, looking for the kickouts, being a great corner 3-point shooter like he's been his whole career. He's gonna set good screens and try to get for some mismatches there for you. And that's his role on offense. His role on offense is just to be the 5th option. It's nothing else. You signed him to play defense and rebound and to help your defense out, be legitimate top 10. And so if Bam is switching out on somebody or getting pulled out on a high screen, you have somebody on the weak side that's not 198 pounds in Trevor Ariza.
Yeah, you signed him offensively to look at that. Look at G.
Some things never change.
New place, same shitty webcam. But you signed him to get out the fucking paint and let Bam and Jimmy and Lowry do their thing, and him and Duncan need to sit there and provide space. And Frankie's right. He's gonna set some great screens for Lowry. And you have to respect him from out there. Like, I don't care what his percentage is. Like I've always said, the reason I love Jay Crowder next to Bam is because Jay Crowder would shoot it and did not give a fuck. Like PJ Tucker's going to shoot the ball. Like it's more important that they get shots up than their percentage, to be honest with you, because Myers Leonard shot a great percentage, but was afraid to shoot the damn ball. So it's like, you just need a willing shooter that they can't leave alone, and that's what PJ is going to provide. So, I mean, are we all on that same page? Is PJ the starting 4? Because I've heard a lot of Markieff, and I don't believe that for a second.
No way, because he doesn't have the shooting. He doesn't have the shooting chops to kind of help them. And
he's a willing shooter too, which I like. But my biggest argument, and I know the Heat are a meritocracy, even though they're not. But he didn't leave a championship team to play behind Markieff Morris.
Right.
Like, there's not a chance that
he's also better than Markieff Morris. Like,
yeah, and I thank you. So,
like, let's not. I think Markieff provides like kind of what you want off the bench, and like an energy guy, a physical guy, a guy to kind of play with some of those younger players that you're going to have off the bench. But he's not. I mean, he's not going to be this. Jimmy needs space. You're already playing with Bam and Jimmy out there, so you're going to need the extra shooter.
Yeah, Markieff can hit a shot. He's not a shooter.
Yeah. So one thing I think is kind of interesting.
He'll shoot it though.
He will shoot that shit.
So like Jay was different. Jay and PJ I think are functionally similar, except Jay is more of a willing like topside shooter. Like he likes the wing and up top. PJ is like more of a strict corner guy. So I think that's like the main difference between them on offense. I also think like Jay had a bit more ball skill, and he's like obviously bigger.
A bit.
Whenever
he put the ball on the floor, you're like, oh god, no.
I mean, like Jay was a good finisher and stuff like that. Like
PJ's
gonna have like some size issues. I like the potential of kind of the Duncan PJ 2-man game. So like Miami runs a lot of empty corner sets, right? So they'll vacate like one side of the court and then they'll run all their actions on the other, which provide whoever's rolling on the far side to have really no help come from that side. And it's the offense can get a little cramped, but if you have the right movement and the right shooting, it could be really effective to get guys like Jimmy downhill pretty easy. So with PJ as like that guy in the corner, maybe back screening or whatever, that's a look I like for them. They ran some of that with Ariza last season, and it worked a lot. So that's one of the ways they can grease their offense. PJ was not the best shooter last season, and I think he's had kind of struggles at times. I know his corner numbers are good, but the rest aren't. So that's something to kind of be aware of. I think on defense he's like fine. Like he's not.
He's a playoff guy though.
Yeah, he's a 16 game guy. I think if he's not great in the regular season, I don't think fans should overreact.
Do not, yes, please.
I don't even expect him to be great in the regular season.
That's not going to happen, though. Where everyone is going to overreact, but
100%.
And honestly, I'm going to overreact on Hangover Time. Like, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to be cursing.
Why are we still starting this guy?
Yeah, we got to put him on. Where's Yurtseven?
He's going to miss so many shots at one point, and it's going to pit everybody. That's Alf, you're right. Dude, all the comments are going to be Yurtseven.
He's going to be 0 for 6. He's going to be 0 for 6.
I just have to remember Iggy. Like, I just have to remember how I felt when Iggy would shoot a 3 and woo-saw my ass back into fucking reality.
He's going to be 0 for 6, but a +7 for the and make like a key stop. And you're going to be like, God, we won, yes, but at what cost? Omer Yurtseven, KZ, they're right there. Come on. Markieff,
the clamoring for Yurtseven.
Chat is
already started.
Chat's popping. Chat loves Omer's season.
It's literally the thing I dread the most about this season. I like Omar. I like him. Like he's fun, and I hope he can give him 7-8 minutes a game. Anything more than that is a total win in my book. And like
gravy, baby.
In another year, 2 years down the line, if he's your first big off the bench, wow, that's a really, really good pickup. Great development job by the Heat. But like these people are like, Omer needs to start. Yurtseven next to Bam, they'd be unstoppable. Stop it, man.
Bo's a coward if he doesn't start Omer. Omer didn't start in the G League, guys.
Thank you. Can we stop with summer league guys going crazy over summer league performances?
Josh Selby dropped 50 points in a summer league game. Anthony Randolph dropped 50 points in a summer league game. There's a reason it's summer league guys.
Kendrick Nunn dropped 50 in preseason, and we wanted him like yeeted to Mars.
Well, he did start.
Yeah, he did start, but we didn't want him here. Like
exactly.
It's not like he was helping. So, I guess we can kind of pivot to, unless you guys had anything else on PJ that you wanted to say.
No, I think, I think what I like about PJ the most is just that he is the guy that when the guy that we've been clamoring to start next to Bam, PJ is almost that prototype, right? Yep. He's a Jay Crowder mold. He's a heavier Ariza, like who can, stand up to some other fours in the league. Where Ariza, like I liked Ariza. I thought he brought a lot of good things to the Heat, but man, the Heat were just small and soft. Yep. Like it was too cute with Ariza out there, to be honest with you. Like you can't have, Ariza looking like Gator from Dave. You have Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero and Gordon. You have all these guys who just can't guard.
Yeah,
and then you have a little guy like Trevor Ariza trying to go up against Cat and stuff. Like it was just bad. I think PJ was a huge surprise, and he's just a really good fit.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, man.
No.
The thing about Ariza is that he was best guarding like 1s through 3, and we had him playing the 4, and then Jay
he is a 4.
Yeah, now he is. But that was his talent. He was great against Dame. Anytime we put him on a small guard, he was really good, and he was disruptive because he got to use his length. He's not great foot speed, but he's got good enough reaction time and anticipation that he was great to move his feet. The thing about Jay was good at guarding 3s and 4s because that's his specialty. He wasn't that fast. Anytime he was on a guard, the guard would blow by him. I was at that Trae Young 50-point game in Atlanta that he just destroyed Jay. But here's the thing about PJ.
That's the most mad Alf has ever been at me watching basketball. Alf left that sports grill pissed.
Why was I mad?
Because I was like being like, Will, actually, when you switch like this, it's not very good. And you're like, the motherfucker was hitting pull-ups. You were so mad at me. That was at a watch party.
I was really drunk.
And then you said, "This is why I hate you during Heat games," or "I hate this chat during Heat games." Yeah, and then you left, and we were still arguing in our DMs.
That's that's true.
You were so pissed.
That's probably hilarious. Driving, which is not a good idea. Anyway,
but PJ, anyways, PJ is legitimately good at guarding 2 through 5. Like he can, like Al said, he spent more than half of the season guarding 5s and helping the Rockets turn their season around.
He guarded Tyler Hero last season, Frankie.
Yeah, he guarded Devin Booker in the finals, and he disrupted Devin Booker in the finals. They got to put Drew on CP3 and fucked up the Suns, and then him holding his own against Devin Booker was the turning table.
Turning table.
How the tables turn.
As someone who's never seen The Office, when you guys make those references, I thought that like you guys didn't know how to grammar or know the expression.
How to grammar. You of all people talking about grammar.
Yeah, please.
Grammar's not a democracy.
It's a meritocracy.
Yeah. All right. So let's kind of pivot from PJ to Tiff, how the turns of table. So let's everyone's favorite the sensation. Yurtseven, and I saw somebody in chat earlier ask, do you see Gino asked, do you see Yurtseven getting minutes this season?
Oh yeah, COVID.
I mean, we're still in a COVID season, guys. Like this is not, vaccinated people can get sick, and not that they get very sick, but enough that they shouldn't be out there infecting other people. So I think that there'll be ample time for him. Bam's knee, that's not
also we're old
fixed. Yeah, we're old.
Yeah, PJ Tucker's old.
Markieff is old.
He's not as old. PJ Tucker, super. Deadman just looks old.
Yeah, Deadman looks old as shit.
Deadman's a young buck on the team. Is Deadman younger than Markieff?
I think so. Deadman's younger than Jimmy by like a month.
Yeah, Deadman is not as old.
Deadman is younger than Markieff Morris. Yeah. No way.
I remember
Deadman just looks like he played in the ABA.
You remember when he was like about to fight Dwight Howard, the same game UD got kicked out of?
Yeah.
And it really looked like Deadman was talking to a young man, like, "Hey, young man," and like Dwight Howard's like 4 years older than Deadman, which is just funny. When it comes to Yurtseven, is he going to get minutes this year? He's going to get minutes for the same reason Gabe Vincent was on a promo last year on a Miami Heat tweet. It's because they're going to
marquee player.
Because we're talking about the beginning of the season. First of all, they're down a roster spot. Then you have Udonis Haslem, and then you have Victor Oladipo taking a spot. So you're already down 3 roster spots, right? And they're just going to need bodies. Like Gabe Vincent is going to be your first point guard off the bench. Yep. If you don't want to call Tyler Hero a point guard because he's not. Gabe Vincent's your first point guard off the bench. He's Kyle Lowry's backup. Now, I would assume that they're going to spend most of the game with Jimmy Butler or Kyle Lowry on the floor at all times. I pray to God they do. But there's going to be games that Jimmy misses. Surprise, surprise, Jimmy misses games, right? So because of these reasons, like you're going to get games where PJ Tucker can't go. Down 4 roster spots. Someone says KZ is a wasted roster spot. Yes, and KZ is going to get some burn, which is sad. But because of the way their roster construction, Yurtseven's going to get minutes, but it's not going to be because Yurtseven's lighting the league on fire. Like people need to slow down on him. And if the whole roster is healthy, there's no minutes for Yurtseven because he's not playing over Markieff or Dedmon, and you don't go 5 bigs deep.
Listen, absolutely unless that dude can defend competently and shoots 40%. Like he could beat Markieff for minutes, right? Like there's a universe.
Markieff is playing a lot with Bam.
There's a world where if Yurtseven, because Yurtseven's a good post-up player. If anything,
against summer league guys, I don't know about that. Hold on.
Remember, like we have to look at Miami's offense and how, if they run a Duncan Yurtseven handoff, that's probably going to get switched, and they're going to dare him to beat him. and he'll have favorable matchups and stuff like that. And so I could see a world where he can get some of those Markieff minutes, or maybe the Dedmon minutes, depending on how good he is. So the high end of him is like backup center, play with Bam at times. The low end is just like spot minutes when foul trouble or guys are injured. I kind of think that that's the role. Like, and it's a huge gulf, partly because, you know, their backups aren't like particularly like world beaters, right? Like, you know, Dedmon's nice, Markieff is nice. If one of them, you know, goes out for the season or something, or they get traded, is it like, are you going to be heartbroken? Are you going to be like, well, there goes the title?
No,
right?
There's
just hangover time bits that kind of rely on one of those guys.
Listen, if we lose Dedmon, there's a lot of material gone off of hangover time. And I was, if this season's like last season, we need all the material we can get.
Listen, when Deadmon got re-signed, I was like, thank God we don't have to change the emotes. I was like, that costs money, man.
We literally put an emote on a role player.
We did, and people love it. It's probably like one of the most used ones. That one and the Camby. One non-heat player and a role player.
But when it comes to I mean, okay, we know we know what Yurtseven is. Is Dedmon firmly in that first big off the bench role, or do you think it's Markieff?
I think they'll kind of play it out in preseason, but if I had my pick, I'd probably pick Dedmon. I just think his synergy with Jimmy's like too good.
Yeah, I think him and I think he'll play well with Kyle.
Oh, for sure.
Like just a smart, patient player who, I mean, he loves to rim run. Like I was going through Dedmon's garages for
not rim run, like rim stroll.
Rim gander.
Rim gander. I was about to say. There's a rim waddle.
Pick and gander.
Yeah, but him and Kyle, like that. I'm excited to see that. Like just against second units, you know, Jimmy, Bam, PJ go sit down, and it's like Kyle, Tyler Hero, Dedmon. Like I just think it's going to be fun. Like I could just see Dedmon just going off in those minutes, just playing off of Kyle Lowry. Just two really, really smart players. Just getting it done on the offensive end. Like, I don't think they're going to be world beaters, but I just think it's going to be fun to watch.
So I want to give you, Frankie, I'm going to read you a stat.
Go for it.
When Dewayne Dedmon was on the court, I mean, we all know the net rating, plus 17 net rating. Which
monster.
Bonkers, right? Like, we know all the numbers. Let's look at opponents' three-point percentage when Dedmon's on. Opponents are shooting 32.7%. Let's say 33%. You know, when he's off, so basically most of the season, opponents shot about 37%. So that's like a 5% drop. That's not insignificant. And part of that is, you know, okay, you're playing against bench players. I think the other part of that is he's a drop big, so guys can stay home on shooters. And I think at times Miami's corner shooting, like what they allowed from the corners, was a little too much, and guys would kind of leak out in rotations or whatever. So I just think having like a reliable, sturdy drop big is huge.
Yeah, it's a big reason why I don't want them to switch all game long when they have Kyle and Bam and PJ. And like I know they're going to switch a lot. I don't think they should do it during the regular season all year and rely on that. They got to build those habits as a unit. Because a guy like Dedmon, you know, you're not expecting him to switch, and you're not trying to ask him to do too much defensively, and everyone's got to defend. Everyone's got to do their job. You're not helping one pass away all fucking game anytime somebody gets beat off the dribble and setting guys up for the easiest looks they'll ever see all season. That was a huge problem this season. That's why I didn't believe that they were a legitimate top 10 defense, because they kept the shot profile they were giving up all season to the fucking Magic wasn't going to be a good shot against the Bucks.
Which is funny because the Bucks, you know, I think the 3-point shooting of the Bucks was more like, some of that was just heat check shit. I don't even think that was their defense leaking. That was just like those dudes.
But they were allowing that all year long, and they kept allowing that against the Bucks. And like they just
stop it.
I think the rebounding was more of an issue because I'm
not even talking about just in the playoffs. The whole regular season they were allowing that shit against the Bucks.
Yep.
Like the Bucks were just going bonkers from three because they just had the heat figured out, and there was like I don't know, like I don't know if it was a Spo not being able to adjust thing or just Spo not. I think it was Spo not having the personnel and them not having the legs to adjust. Like he was running Trevor Ariza out there as his starting 4 in a playoff series. Like, let's think about how fucking ridiculous that is.
Do you remember the big move in that play? You remember the big adjustment that series?
What was starting Goran?
No, it was moving Ariza off of Giannis because he just could not defend Giannis.
Oh,
Giannis
yeah, come on. That was a massacre.
The
and
corpse of Goran Dragic, too.
Yeah, exactly. So like, where, is Trevor even going to get minutes on the Lakers this year?
Yeah, I forgot he's on the Lakers.
Yeah, for sure. He was. Listen, I feel like we're being unfair because I think Trevor.
No, I don't think. I think
it wasn't his fault.
Trevor was fine. Trevor was a miscast, like as a starting 4. Like it just wasn't. As a starting 4 next to a big like Bam, it just was never going to work.
I bet you in closing lineups for the Lakers, people would rather have Ariza over Carmelo.
Oh God, we got to break down that Lakers fucking roster. Like honestly, in 2012, monster.
LeBron, Westbrook, Carmelo,
like
Anthony,
2012,
Davis,
man.
Rajon Rondo.
Like they keep talking about all the All-Star appearances and all NBA. That's because they're old as shit.
Yeah, that was funny. It's like
I could put a team of Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and James Worthy together. We'd have a bunch of all NBA, but the motherfuckers old as shit.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. Like the reason they have all these accolades is because they've been in the NBA since the fucking 80s. Like
they're all ring chasing now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like maybe they have some of that 2006 heat to them, but
Tiff says
how much help
does Wayne Ellington need? That's another. If he was still in the Heat, him and Dedmon would be running the grill.
Wayne's got a young face.
No, Wayne has an uncle face.
Does he?
Yeah, young uncle.
Now Wayne's like that cousin.
Wayne's a cool uncle. I think Wayne's a cool
intellectual uncle.
Yeah, like he's just like
he's read books.
He's the one who has money.
He's
an uncle that has money because he never had kids.
Yeah.
He's out there being a slut.
And everyone's like, "Oh, what does he do?" He's like, he works at TSA, but he's balling because he just doesn't have any fucking mouths to feed. He lives in an efficiency in Miami Beach.
No kitchen. Just
Wayne working at TSA works, right? Like that works. Like you can see Wayne Ellington in the TSA uniform
for sure.
Just like and just bullshitting with another TSA agent.
Yeah,
he's like, "Why the fucking line so long?" And he's like, "Look at this smooth motherfucker trying to talk to other TSA agents, trying to get them out they work uniforms." Motherfucking Wayne Ellington.
King, come on, Wayne. Please.
Trying to get through this fucking line. Got to take my shoes off and shit. Come on, Wayne.
Like I could totally put, when they have to open like the second metal detector because the one where you put your hands up is going too slow. You totally see Wayne like opening the tape and then like going like, "Come on, come through." The Lakers jersey patch should be heart monitors.
Wayne's the one that looks in your pocket like, "Oh no, man, that's just your keys, man. Go ahead on, man." He don't even wave the wand. He's just like, "Oh."
No, you know how I can vividly see doing this, like probably in a couple of years because their career's going down south, is Hassan. Hassan just strikes me as that guy whose homeboy hooked him up with the
too
job.
much responsibility at TSA. No, he'll have the job for 2 days.
No, he's got, but I can see him doing it.
Hassan is not in the TSA line. Hassan drives the cart for the old people. Like he just drives the cart, like, and he just passes old people just chilling, like taking other employees to Chick-fil-A.
He does donuts.
He's the one who makes friends with the ladies at Wendy's day one, so they can hook him up with burgers and stuff.
And he's just driving other employees to other parts of the airport. Like fuck the old people, fuck the handicap.
Backroom king.
He's just like, "Oh, the chef at Chili's needed a ride."
Miss Gladys needed a lift.
Miss Gladys. Hey, come on, Miss Gladys.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Sorry. What big, right? Big.
He's gonna inevitably be a Laker one day. Hassan.
Oh, for sure.
Does he have a team right now?
He's on Utah, bro.
Oh, that's right. He's
backing up Gobert, which is so fucking funny.
Blancote. Talk about swallowing your pride. Was it worse for him to swallow his pride or Drummond?
Drummond.
No, it had to be Drummond. No, that's like that's.
No, that was bad.
I don't know.
That was bad.
They were both
pretty bad. They were both getting shit talked on Twitter by the other team.
Ben says Duncan Robinson is a flight attendant.
Duncan's a pilot. Duncan is definitely a pilot, right?
Duncan's a pilot, or I don't know. I could totally see him as a flight attendant.
But he's not the main pilot. He's the co-pilot.
Yeah, he's got to be the co-pilot.
Because he's a little too chill. But listen, in an emergency situation, I can see him putting the hat on and going to work.
I can see Tyler being the one that's loading the bags, out.
Sure.
Out on the tarmac.
He's got the hoodie on with the vest.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's driving the stairs car.
But Tyler's definitely the guy that forgot to detach the fuel tank to the plane, and the plane's driving away with it.
That's why you're delayed to the Tyler. Tyler knows the best spots to smoke. He's like that.
Tyler.
He knows where all the cameras are.
Yeah. He knows where the cameras are. He's like, yo, I know we can go for a second.
Him and Kendrick for sure. They're hanging out together.
Kendrick for sure works in baggage.
Yeah, Kendrick's baggage.
Kendrick's working baggage.
I feel like that's racist, but I don't care.
I don't even know the rules. I don't even know how we got to this game. Instead of Miami Heat movie, Miami Heat Airport.
Miami Heat Airport.
It makes me so off brand from Hangover Time. We've strayed far from the light.
I'm sorry, I can't. What do they say? I'm off the rails.
Yurtseven, yeah. Oh, okay. We're talking Deadmon. I forgot. Okay, let's kind of steer back. Son's driving the little cart back. Kind of close out Deadmon. I mean, his minutes with Jimmy, super fucking productive. We all know that. Together in 103 minutes, plus 29 net rating, 131 offensive rating, 102 defensive rating. Their field goal percentage on twos was 59%, which tells me the shot quality is absolutely incredible. That means that they're getting to the rim. It's not that they're just shooting open shots well, is that they're getting shots at the rim. Well, the field goal that high, Jimmy without Dedmon, the Heat are shooting about 54%. So again, like a 5% difference in shot quality. And a lot of that is very Jimmy intense minutes, right? A lot of pick and roll, burrowing in, getting to the rim. Dedmon, great screener. So Alf, to kind of all this to come back is I do think Dedmon's the first big off the bench. Until somebody earns it otherwise, I think that he's for sure the guy.
I think Spo trusts him when Bam isn't on the floor. Because you were talking about how they play drop when Dedmon's out there. When in the summer league, they were like at the end of a game, right? You started to see Yurtseven switch on the pick and roll, but before that, they were playing drop with Yurtseven, and he was doing a decent job at rim protection. Now, I don't know if that speed is, if Trae Young is coming at you, I don't know if that big lumbering fucking Turkish arm is going to swat Trae Young. But in summer league, this shit worked out, right?
10 fouls per game, right?
Yeah, exactly. But so Yurtseven could actually do a little bit of what Dedmon did as far as defensively. I don't think he moves his feet as well as Dedmon, even with the gout. But Dedmon moves his feet pretty well. Like when I watch a lot of I've been watching a lot of Dedmon plays, and it's just it's just he's smart, and like he just does all the little things, and that's why I think Spo trusts him. Like last season, it was when Bam sat down, it was Precious. And listen, love Precious to death, but the basketball IQ dropped off a cliff, right? Like Precious was just all energy,
young players.
Yeah, just
trying to do too much sometimes.
Just long limbs and energy, right? Was he in the right place? No, but he looked like he was trying. Dedmon ain't wasting all that energy. That every move from Dedmon is deliberate. So, like, I think
energy efficient.
Yeah, Dedmon's trying to conserve his energy. Like
the LED lights of big.
He's got 15 minutes a night, and he's gonna make sure he gets exactly 15 minutes a night.
15 minutes and 6 fouls, baby.
Yep, let's do it.
Yeah,
but I think Spo trusts a guy like that. I really do.
Yeah, like I said, Yurtseven has to show growth in that area defensively, moving his feet, because it's a big difference guarding Tyrese Maxey and Trae Young and Chris Paul and all these guys who are a lot craftier and know how to get to the line, get around the big guy who doesn't know what he's doing defensively. it's going to take time. He's got great coaches and great teachers. He's got UD getting the highest paid assistant coach in the league. And he's got a ton of experience on the bench that's going to help him. If he fails in Miami, it's not because the Miami did something wrong with him. This is a great situation for him.
I like what Anthony said here in chat. He says Jimmy with the stretch bridge creates problems. Your minutes might be more married to Jimmy than Bam. I don't disagree with that. I just think that Jimmy with a rim roller is also really fucking good, and as we saw with Dedmon last year, that really works. And they'll figure their way around that.
Yeah, someone said Brendan Peterson says Dedmon's so efficient, he's a master couponer. Yes, Dedmon's clipping coupons.
Do black people use coupons off? Like, is that like? I feel like that's an old white lady thing.
I don't know. I've never used a coupon in my life.
I just feel like that's older.
I feel like Dedmon goes for like the half off bread all the time. Like he knows it's Wednesday. I'm getting the Thursday bread from last week.
You say Dedmon's scoping out the bread delivery truck?
He knows exactly when each loaf of bread is about to expire. He's like, this is good for extra 4 days.
Ain't no damn fool, I'll tell you that much. But Anthony's comment, and I thank you, Anthony, for tuning in. But these are the comments that kind of scare me about Heat fans. Like, Anthony is right. Like, a stretch big with Jimmy, it is effective because it creates lanes for Jimmy. But a stretch big that can set a good screen. But yeah, a good stretch big next to Jimmy creates problems. I just don't want people thinking that Yurt is going to get he's not going to get a lot of burn. Let's just understand that right now.
And also calling him yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Don't get disappointed when let's not start the fire Spo chants when Yurt doesn't play. It's just
what's coming.
He's not that guy, pal. All right, he's just not that guy yet. Maybe he can be. I just hit the brakes a little bit. And I know I'm tilting at windmills right now. There's no way. The Heat fans it's gonna be Yurt season. People are gonna go crazy. But go ahead, Frank, because you're gonna make a point about stretch bigs that I think is pretty apropos.
Oh, I was just making a point about him specifically.
Yeah.
Calling him a stretch big is a little bit of a stretch itself. He hit 26 threes in his whole college career.
Yeah, he hit them 2 threes in a summer league game, and motherfuckers look at the next Dirk.
Omer, they were calling him Omer Nowitzki.
Yeah, Dirk Nowitzki. Chill. Listen, I want him to be good. I'm rooting for him, but I am so afraid of what the Heat fans are. What we do all the time as Heat fans, and I'm one of them, right? We build up this guy that we never see.
KZ,
perfect example. He is the answer to all of our problems. Spo is an idiot for not playing him. Spo plays him. That motherfucker is trash. He is the worst. He should never play again. Let's just chill. Yurtseven is a project. He is a project, and hopefully, if by the end of the season he's averaging 12 minutes, that is huge, right? Yeah. Huge. He will not see a playoff minute. Unless Mr. Dedmon, his legs fall off, Markieff Morris's shoulder falls off, and Bam has, the worst breakthrough case of COVID ever. Yurtseven is not seeing a single playoff minute unless it's a blowout.
Alf, guess how many threes Omer hit in the G League?
70.
8.
60.
8. He's a stretch big.
Somebody in the comments earlier, I'm not trying to call out the commenters because thank you for watching. But two guys were arguing, which is YouTube is such a different animal. So these motherfuckers over here in the chat cussing each other out. Twitch is just this happy community with fucking.
We all love to be here.
Yeah, hey, whatever.
It's just vibes. It's vibes.
Yeah, it's vibes. The fucking YouTube chat, they're going to war. And one guy was like, Yurt's ceiling is Myers Leonard. And another guy was like, oh, Myers can never shoot like Yurt. What? What are we doing?
Another dude is Myers scored 30 in a playoff game. And I was like, what does that have to do with anything?
But Myers was a 40% three-point shooter. Can we stop, please? Myers Leonard was a good 3-point shooter. He just didn't shoot enough. But I hope we don't have the emails. That's why. So that's why I was so angry in the chat.
It's like giving people a toy. It's like when you give kids an iPad so that they don't misbehave at dinner.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, people are doing this. Like, he's a much better shooter than Myers Leonard. Like, Myers Leonard was top something in the league in 3-point percentage one year. Like, stop. Like, calm down, please, because you're going to ruin Yurt. And Yurt is a fun story, and you guys are like Lenny from Mice and Men, right? You have something nice, and you pet it until you break its fucking neck. You're going to kill Yurt.
For the rabbits.
Rabbits.
Okay, so let's pivot to Markieff Morris real quick.
I don't know shit about Markieff Morris. I just know I'm going to be honest with you because I'm going to bullshit for the rest of this segment about Markieff. I'm going to let you guys know I don't know anything about him except that he was pretty good against the Heat, and he's the less.
He's the
okay. So here we go,
yeah,
and he's the less. He's the lesser of the Morris brothers.
He was the reason why they won a few games. He was just so bad that especially when he came in the game. Funny, he just had no answer for Kelly. Kelly was fucking torching my guy, and Jimmy too. I mean, Jimmy and Kelly 2-man game was really good that series. Brendan Patterson with the real you got to see it to understand it joke. I'm not gonna say it for the pod audience, but that's funny.
I want you guys to know something because we had a meeting for Hangover Time the other night, and I was really drunk during this meeting, so I was just looking up things on YouTube, clipping them, and throwing them in the chat and on the screen just to make people laugh. And I was the only one laughing, but who cares? But so I opened up my browser to go to ESPN.com to look at Markieff Morris's numbers, and I get an ad for a red and black metal trash can. I kept putting that picture up talking about Mo Harkless.
Oh my god! Shout out to Mo. I wish we could have.
No shout out to Mo. Take that back. You take that back.
No shout out to Mo.
Fuck that guy.
No shout out to Mo. All right. So I mean, I don't really have a ton to say on Markieff because I think he's, to me, the third big. I don't think he torched us in the finals. I thought it was pretty bad on defense. And
okay, KCP. If I remember correctly, KCP turned into Steph Curry in the finals, right? I said that on Twitter, and I got lit up by Lakers fans who pointed out, matter of factly, he shot 29% from three in the finals.
He was only good the last two games.
Yeah,
bro, it wasn't even that good the last two games. I remember him not missing. 20s. I don't remember him ever missing a three.
Yeah, he shot 30% from three in the finals. Markieff shot 40%
from three.
Oh, see, there you go.
There we go.
It was Markieff.
Well, Markieff is just historically not a great shooter. KCP was better than Bron. Markieff not a great shooter. I just think he's the third big. If it were up to me, I just don't think he'll synergize as well with Jimmy and stuff as Dedmon. I like Dedmon because he kind of plays a role. Dedmon really helps the rebounding. It's not something we talked about in his segment, but Miami's rebounding. I mean, Kyle's going to improve that a ton. I think that you're going to see the rebounding really stabilize, with Kyle. But Dedmon helps them on that end a ton. I just think Dedmon's a natural backup. I think Markieff is for sure going to play, and they'll play some Bam and him together, and they'll play him at backup center, and they'll play him and PJ together. You're going to see a lot of early kind of rotations in the early part of the season, kind of Spo figuring out what he wants to do with the big rotations. I just think when push comes to shove and they got to win games, he's just the third guy, and maybe they'll put him in for some toughness, but he's, to me, just not as good as Dedmon and obviously Bam.
Or PJ.
Or PJ, yeah. I mean, PJ's a given. I mean, PJ and Bam are the two that you're just these dudes are for sure going to play. And then you get to Dedmon and
I think Markieff will get plenty of minutes.
Yeah, in the regular season,
because you just don't want to overplay. You don't want to overplay PJ.
And he's a good player. He's a good
player. And this is just before we go saying, okay, Markieff's not that good. Just think about where we were at last year. It's Markieff or Precious or KZ or Iggy. Honestly, I'd rather
talking about who the fuck is a starter. At least we're arguing about who's the seventh man.
Exactly. You have and this is like we used to just have too many guards that couldn't guard anybody, but we had a ton of guards, right? And we just had no big man rotation. Now you're looking at it like, okay, like the big man rotation is set where a guy like Yurtseven, who people are excited about, probably won't see the floor, barring injuries, right? So I think it's just a good problem to have right now that you have a guy like Trevor Ariza would have been perfect as a backup to Jay Crowder, right? Like that would have been a nice platoon.
Solid.
At the power forward position. So now you have PJ Tucker and Markieff Morris. Like you're getting a little bit of that feel because it was Jay Crowder and Iggy. And Iggy was, they had that layoff because of COVID, and he was pretty spry in the bubble, but he still had his moments where like, damn, this motherfucker's old. So now you have a nice platoon at the 4 with PJ Tucker and Markieff Morris, guys who kind of whose skill sets overlap a little bit. So you don't lose that much when PJ sits and Markieff comes in, right? So I think it's the Heat are in a good place in that position right now. Where you're just scared shitless is the guards.
The problem is, Alf, it's like they're 2 guys off the bench at the 4 and the 5. If you want to play Markieff at the 4, both Dedmon and him are like really non-shooters. So I don't think you'd play them a lot together. So that kind of becomes the issue.
I think you're discounting Markieff's ability and willingness to shoot. Like he will, he's going to shoot when he's out there.
No, like, what's your alternative?
No, they don't really have one. That's why, like I've said a bunch of times, like I think they're like a guy short, and I think that like a guy who can play the 4 off the bench or start is kind of where you are. Like
I think I disagree with you so much there. Like the 4 and 5 position to me is not a problem. Right now, it's after you once you go to the bench and Tyler Hero is your only NBA level player, at the 1, 2, or 3 position. That's where the shit gets scary to me, and which is why this is a second round team. The ceiling on this team is a second round team, unless Victor Oladipo comes back. At anywhere near old Victor Oladipo. That turns him into an Eastern Conference Finals team.
Oh yeah, I mean, if Vic comes back, like I'm not even saying he has to be like all NBA, like some comparable all-star kind of level, which we know he can get to.
But yeah, to me, the 4 and 5, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about the spacing, but I mean, again, it's like I'm nitpicking. I really like the roster. I think they're really good. I'm just like kind of looking.
I don't love the roster on the bench at the 1, 2, and 3 position. Like,
I agree. I think Gabe will kind of get you through, and we talked about that on the guards pod. Gabe will eat some minutes and stuff, but they need a better solution.
There are a 2-week stretch of Kyle Lowry being injured. Like. That's going to be the difference between a 3 seed and a 7 seed. Like I'm not even.
If Jimmy and Kyle miss at the same time, they are really fucked.
I'm not doing hangover time.
Well, that's why I've been kind of saying like if they had another wing, because like a backup point guard, if both of those guys are out, like really doesn't fix. I mean, I guess Bam plus backup point guard, but like if they have like a really competent wing that can kind of score the ball, right? Something like Gallinari, or obviously they can't get Gallo, but like a player like that.
But that's way above their pay grade. But
you ain't getting that guy.
They're stuck.
They needed somebody who could buy minutes, get a couple buckets, and create a little bit off the bench.
They need one of these guys to pop. I mean, if the Garrett kid is good or whoever they get, like
the problem with Garrett, I think he's a great defender. He can finish around the rim, but he ain't getting around the rim in the NBA. That's my thing. Like in summer league, I mean, him and Jarreau, like that's why I wasn't that big. I wasn't like, oh no, we lost Deaky. Like I didn't really care because like his skill set, he wasn't getting to the rim in the NBA. Get the fuck out of here. No. Like those guys were amazing around the rim in summer league, but they're not getting anywhere near it. They're not beating anybody off the dribble in the NBA. And if they get there, they're not scoring over any NBA big. Like they're just not. So those guys need to be able to shoot, and neither of them can shoot. Like Deaky's shot was terrible. Garrett's shot is like Garrett is like it's like what we always wanted from Briante Weber. Just this guy come in, disrupt the shit out of 8 minutes a game. Just spark them. He can get some steals, leak out with some fast break points. Yeah. But man, in a half court, like I hope I'm wrong, but if Garrett ain't gonna be able to do shit in the half court.
Yeah. You want those guys to like piss off the other guy.
Yeah,
that's all you want. Like get Kyrie, get a double tech with Kyrie. Go do your job. Something like that. So, but back to Markieff real quick. I think the value in Markieff. I disagree with a little bit with the overlap of him and PJ because PJ, we know PJ's value is defensively. I think Markieff's value is more offensively as a kind of a wild card because Markieff can't like I said off the bench. We got Tyler. And guys who are in a role, Markieff can kind of be like a volume guy who can get you some buckets. If Markieff gives you 20 points, a 20-point game, you're like, oh shit, okay, good job.
You're not super surprised.
Exactly.
You're not super.
If Dedmon gives you 20 points, you're like, hell yeah, Dedmon. Where'd that come from?
Listen, we're doing a special edition of Hangover Time, 2 hours.
Exactly. But Markieff can get you a 20-point game. That's the thing. He's not gonna give you a lot of them, but he can do it. And that's what you kind of need from that kind of role where he could score in a couple of various ways, pick and pop, pick and roll. He can post up a little bit. I remember when he was in Washington, he gave Justice fits. And yeah, he can post up a smaller guy. And that's, the chat loves talking about Yurtseven posting up a guy. Well, we got a guy who's done it at the NBA level.
Like, I know I'm in the minority on this, but that's why I would have taken a flyer on a guy like Isaiah Thomas. Like, as far as when we're talking about guards, like that is there's nobody. Like, it's Isaiah Thomas or Gabe Vincent.
I'd rather have Gabe.
You're out of your fucking mind.
I'd rather have Gabe.
Like to get you through a regular season when you need points, I'd rather see if Isaiah Thomas can give you something. And I say maybe I would rather have Gabe, but like I wouldn't say no to an Isaiah Thomas type. Right. Somebody who can go get you some.
I'd rather roll the dice on a young guard.
This is where I wanted them to get Monk so bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
he signed off to be the 14th shooting guard on the fucking Lakers.
But we all found out all these guys that we thought would come here for some minimum,
nobody.
They all got paid $3, $4, $5 million more than the Heat could offer.
Yep.
Like everyone was talking about Danny Green coming here for the fucking minimum.
Yeah, no way. I mean, they had a little bit of money left over, but
what's this guy's name? Fuck, dude, stripper club wings, Lou
Williams.
I'd rather have Lou Williams than Isaiah.
I wish we could have, but he got like $5 million. He got like $5 million. I wanted
Miami could have offered something like that. They had a little bit of leftover money,
and they should have. Fucking Mickey, you fucked us again.
Shout out to Andy for being the salary cap god. All right, real quick, because we have one more guy to get to who's arguably the most important, but I think honestly the least we have to say for it. We have Bam Adebayo, their young superstar, locked up, first year of that big deal. Kicks in.
Bam big? No, I'm joking.
Rehashing Hangover Time. Yeah, guys. I mean, there's not a lot to say that we haven't said all throughout the year. We know what we want out of him to be a little bit more aggressive, look for a shot a little more. I think on defense, kind of switch a little less. I think Kyle just naturally helps them do that. It's going to be interesting to see how much drop they play as Frankie just fucking goes to town on that apple.
Got to eat, man.
You forgot you're Friday on video.
No, I'm muted, bro.
So yeah, I mean, Alf, I don't know if there's anything really more to say about Bam. I think that playing with Lowry is going to really help him on both ends, as we've talked about a ton. He just has a natural point guard to help him set up the offense, to kind of get him rolling to the basket, fewer dribble handoffs, more him at the rim. That's going to help his offense on defense, the less switchy. I think like everything this season is just him tied to Lowry more so than anybody else. Maybe PJ a little bit because that 4-5 stuff gets easier for him.
To me, none of it matters if they don't stop switching so fucking much. Like you're in a position now. You are on the floor with 4 good defenders and Duncan, who is getting better defensively every day. Right? You do not have to switch out on Trae Young. Like you don't have to do that. Like
not with Lowry. Not with Lowry here.
No, that's what I'm saying. This roster right now is finally like I remember when I was doing 5 on the floor, we were going into Jimmy Butler's first season. We looked at the roster and said, okay, look, the roster makes sense now. Last season, that motherfucker made no sense. Like we were looking.
They had 2 giant holes.
Tyler Hero will be their starting point guard.
5 dead roster spots.
Yeah, like are you like listen? We like and people got all over me when I said Tyler Hero's not a point guard. I was a hater. I was racist. I was all kinds of shit.
You are.
Yeah, I know. I'm a hater and I'm racist. But we were walking into a season this year with a starting five that makes a ton of fucking sense. Everyone fits. The roles are clearly defined. Now, if you get out there and start playing like you're trying to make up for Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn defensively, there's no point, right? You are going to get the same. You're going to get the same tired out Bam on offense who doesn't want to be aggressive because he has to carry the load defensively. If Jimmy doesn't let Kyle handle the ball and Jimmy's a de facto point guard, you're going to get a gassed Jimmy going into the playoffs again. So it all looks good on paper, but sometimes I just get so afraid of this team getting too fucking cute with shit and just basically like just completely get like negating all the good offseason moves they've done. Like they have to play like a team that has a good defensive point guard. And if they don't, nothing changes for Bam this year.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
I think Brian was the one that put this in chat. Shoot it. That's all all that he needs to do is shoot it. I'm telling you, for him to get where he wants to go, he's going to have to shoot the ball. I think he's more than capable. That's Chris Bosh on Bam. I think he's kind of showed a willingness to take that midi. I think at times he relies on it in ways that he probably shouldn't, and at times he doesn't lean on it as much as he should. I think it's a complicated balance. I do think that drop bigs bother him. Drop bigs that are large and long really bother him. I think the Gobert stuff is like pretty notable, and I think these more physical guys, more like stocky, longer players have always given him fits because he's a little small. So the jumper there is going to have to be relied on. He's going to when players play off of him, he's going to have to shoot that. When teams switch on him, he really, really has to post him up and kind of be committed to that. And I think last season, kind of early on, like kind of late in the season, he would seal early and punish. And I thought he got a lot better at that as the season went on. And that didn't neutralize like them switching those Duncan Bam handoffs didn't like ruin them as much. But everything that Alf said is absolutely true. I think just structurally they're, like you said, it makes a little bit more sense. Things fall a little bit better into place. And he doesn't have to overwork on defense because Frankie, you said that they like didn't have a legit top 10 defense, and I think that they didn't have like a playoff defense, but I did think their defense was really good, and it was in part because Jimmy and Bam carried the fuck out of them. Whether that's Bam,
but see, that's I guess to Frankie's point is that yes, it's good because two guys are just making up for all the shit, but it's not sustainable. It's not unsustainable.
And it was probably like 10 by a hair. Like it looked like the difference between 10 and 15 was like nothing.
No, they were top 10. They were like comfortably like top 10. If anything,
no, I'm just talking about looks. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
they did not pass the eye test of a top 10 team.
No, yeah, they didn't. They didn't pass the sniff test, and I think that they just. But again, I think that's more of a playoff thing because they had like clear exploitable flaws that are just more difficult to exploit in the regular season. So like they could. I mean, their defense carried them. Their offense like straight up sucked. Like in the regular season,
it was so bad.
It was awesome.
Such a bad offense.
And to be honest with you, if their rebounding was like better, I think they're like closer to top 5 than top 10, right? Like they had some issues.
What do you guys think of this? And like Frank, who said PJ puts an end to cute.
Yeah,
he's actually
PJ's pretty cute.
He's actually legitimately called me a racist in the YouTube chat, which I'm thanks. Hi, Frank.
Our Apple reviews call you and I racist.
Sweet. DJ says PJ not going to deal with that switching shit. Same with Lowry. Now, what I will say, and I don't believe in a lot of the fucking intangible shit. I mean, I kind of do, but I think it's overrated. One thing I will say, and I think both these guys kind of point out, is that this is a team. If I feel like PJ and Kyle will be insulted by too many switches, like they're like, no, dude, I can handle my own. Like, you keep switching out on point guards and pushing Kyle Lowry out the way, I think you're going to get cussed out in the huddle. Like, this team legitimately has a lot of guys who pride themselves on either being good defenders and on being tough basketball players. Where last year, I mean, you looked around and oh my God, soft wasn't the word. Like the way they rolled over and died against the Bucks, like nobody got put on their ass, nothing. You know, and you just, UD's in the fucking timeout throwing chairs.
Trevor tried to do the push-up on Giannis, but it just looked ridiculous.
Yeah, because
Goran too. Goran tried to take out Middleton's ankles.
Goran is tough, though. Goran's a tough dude.
Yeah, but they didn't impact the rest of the team. Like the whole team was soft as a whole. Like fucking.
This ain't.
They had soft pockets.
But do you remember like Dedmon looked disgusted at times? Like there was a game where Dedmon was legitimately the best player on the, and like he just looked disgusted. Like playoff Dedmon was disgusted by the Miami Heat's play. Like
that was a great day for Twitter. We gained so many followers with Dedmon jokes.
I just don't think, I don't think Markieff Morris, PJ Tucker, Kyle Lowry, Dewayne Dedmon. Like I just don't think these guys are with Jimmy Butler. I don't think these guys are with the shits this year. These guys just better step up. Everyone's like you got a bunch of dogs on this team for real, and like that's why I don't I don't get too hung up on where they're gonna land in the regular season. Like I just want them to be top 4.
Yeah,
same. I'm with you.
Second round. I'm good with the second round. That's without Oladipo, without them picking somebody up or Tyler taking like a huge leap off the bench. This team is a second round out, and that's not a bad thing.
No, but I think Depot is the linchpin that takes you over the edge. But for the most part, I'm just saying this is going to be a team that is going to show up in the playoffs, in my opinion.
It seems going to be fun to watch defensively. Offensively remains to be seen. But I think they'll. I think
Kyle solves so many problems.
Oh, I do too. But I still think scoring is going to be an issue at times for some of them, especially off the bench. Like Kyle and Jimmy are going to have to do so much of the workload offensively, playmaking that you don't really have a lot of guys who are going to create their own shot. And that's my concern. But I think Kyle helps Bam so much that it helps relieve some of the offensive concerns. But back to Bam, going into Bam again, my thing was the finals run set expectations very high for. Hold on, go read this comment.
Anthony Villamil says Tyler Hero in this locker room is going to be like an episode of Scared Straight, and in parentheses, definitely racist. Correct.
He's gonna try to block a fucking shot at the rim, and PJ's gonna fucking let him hear it. He's like, look at your fucking arms. Come on.
We haven't even talked about Max Strus.
That's on the Wing show. We're just the bigs, but we really
But Bam, his whole finals run kind of like set the expectations really high for him and for the team. But like for the whole finals run, besides the Celtics series, he was a glue big. He was not scoring. He was not mid-range shooting. He was not doing anything but pick and roll, DHOs, and he wasn't asked to do too much offensively. Goran and Jimmy carried the load offensively. The shooting around him carried the load, and then this whole season was a big season of growth for him. He started being more assertive offensively, not to the level we want him to be, of course, but he was more assertive offensively as a shooter, as a playmaker. He had to do a lot more offensively, carry the load. But who else? What other big in the league is asked to play make, score, rebound, and defend? Nobody else. Jokic wasn't asked to defend, and Embiid's not asked to play make. Nobody else is asked to do all that shit. Giannis doesn't play make anymore because Drew couldn't handle that. Middleton handled that.
And it opened up his game.
Yes, and now Kyle is here to do the same thing for him. Yeah. Now Bam's still gonna play make and stuff because that's his game, that's his role, that's what he likes to do. But he doesn't have to fucking do all that. He can focus a little bit more on scoring, a little bit more rebounding. Like I've said, we can play drop more. We don't have to switch as much. And I'm glad because I'm tired of seeing fucking Bam switched out in the first quarter with 24 seconds left on the clock.
I'm tired of Bam with 7 rebounds in a fucking game. And people say Bam can rebound. Bam should be averaging 11 rebounds a game. He can't because he's at the 3-point fucking line all the time. By the way, I found footage of Tyler in the locker room.
All right, last couple things on the way out. Brass needs to put Tyler's face on that. We need that for Hangover Time. I think the next step, as I said, is a jumper. In 2019, 2020, he was 30% from 0 to 3 feet, and then 14% from 10 to 16, and then really up that from to 44.
And people were mad. Like literally, you said 10 to 6. He was shooting. What was the percentage again for 10 to 16?
I'm so sorry. That was percentage of field goal by distance.
Yeah, I was about to say there's no way.
He was 41% from 3 to 10, and then he jumped to 44%, and then he went from 37 from 10 to 16 to 40 from 10 to 16. So it's been incremental, and then last year he got to 47 from 3 to 10, and then 45. So he's been improving every season. You know, if he can keep that trajectory up, which is really good. Like if he can get that 3 to 10 to about 50%, which is kind of would be the next incrementation, kind of given his trajectory, that'd be huge. And if he can up the 10 to 16 a little bit,
yeah.
But
that was the thing last year. That became a tool in the toolbox, and people were mad that wasn't a weapon in the playoffs.
Yeah,
like that you can't expect that historic rise and consistency and efficiency to solve all the problems. And
I
plus,
like what you just said there.
What?
I like what you just said. Like that's it. He needs it went from a tool, like people wanted it to be a weapon when he just added the tool.
Yeah, he was relied on too much to plug all the fucking holes his fucking team. And it's like that cartoon with the octopus plugging the holes in the ship.
He ran out of legs.
He ran out of legs. And he played bad in the finals. He was worn out. He fucking had to play through injury because nobody else was playing through injury.
What about honestly? And I said this all last year. As soon as you saw that fucking strap on his hand, he could not shoot anymore. Like ever since he had that brace on his hand, he couldn't shoot. So I think there was an injury there. But you guys can disagree with me or not. Like I would love if he shot 2 to 2.5 threes a game next year.
Yep. I want to see it.
Oh my God.
And I would take that slower. I mean, I don't think it's a necessity, but I would like to see him try the range a little bit. Just
he can shoot. Like he just honestly, to me, it's if nothing else, it's just to make people like, okay, he will shoot that. So if they're afraid of him shooting that,
yes,
then maybe they come out to free throw line extended. And if they do that,
Bosh in the big three.
Yes.
He went from 16 points a game to about 19. If he can get that to 20, 21, and 10 rebounds.
That's Kyle. Kyle's going to give him easy
5 or 6 assists, or maybe his assists might go down a little bit.
Yeah, I think they will.
So like, he was at 5.4, 5.1
he needs to be double-digit rebounds next year. And if he is not at double-digit rebounds, it's not because he can't rebound the ball. It's because he's still spending time switching on the perimeter.
Which I think that'll all get fixed. So, I mean, I think that their big rotation is pretty interesting. A lot to be seen.
God damn it.
A lot to be seen.
A lot to be seen as I disappear. I want to thank everybody for coming to this YouTube show. I know it's a little different. We're back on Twitch next week. Don't worry, twitch.tv/MIAHeatbeat. This is just kind of to show our solidarity with #ADayOffTwitch, which is done by smaller Twitch creators to kind of improve conditions at Twitch. So we have that going. We're going to be back. Normally, the VOD is going to be on our YouTube channel as always, and the pod is going to be uploaded as always. Again, we have some fun stuff at Hangover Time coming soon. Alf, I know that we and Brass specifically.
Brass has been
in like a chamber.
Poor Brass
doing things. Yeah.
Brass is an Emmy nominated producer. And he's like cutting up Deadmon clips for me. Thank you, Brass.
Deadmon and his gout.
Yeah, Deadmon. Like honestly, I was going through like Hangover Time clips. We played the Deadmon like coming back into the game and like shuffling his feet on the sideline and looking like he had a corn on his big toe. Like we played that like 4 different episodes. Like we milked the shit out of it and like. Listen, and this is what Brass is doing for me. Emmy nominated producer, by the way, and he is. We need to get him a Webby. Like he deserves it, man.
We got to figure out a way to get. Maybe we can make a fake award for Brass. If we can't get him.
Well, fake awards are coming.
Oh yeah.
Oh, heard it here first. All right, y'all. Take care.
Easter egg.
No joke to end. Check out #ADayOffTwitch on Twitter and see what's going on. Support your local creators. I'm trying to be serious. No, I'm just killing it.